I've not seen him in a fight with somebody at that level. You know, Tommy Fury, there weren't a lot in that fight. Tommy won it. I fancied Tommy to win it all from the beginning. And Tommy did win it, but there weren't a lot in it. There wasn't a lot in the fight at the time.
Frank Warren has called out Jake Paul, urging him to step into the ring with a legitimate boxer if he wants to be taken seriously as an elite fighter. Leonard Ellerby praised Mike Tyson's impressive performance at the age of 58, highlighting his ability to complete 8 rounds in the ring despite his age. He admired Tyson's enduring popularity and significant payday, reflecting on how modern promotional strategies could have elevated Tyson's career to even greater financial heights.
Your actual thoughts on Mike Tyson's effort in the ring against Jake Paul, 58 years old. He went 8 rounds, 16 minutes.
Nothing but the utmost respect for Mike. Mike is Mike. You know.
I'm happy he got that paycheck from that fight.
Yeah,
to be
me
honest.
too. Well, I can't even imagine if we would have been working with Mike when Mike was Mike. He'd be a gazillionaire.
Building on this, Stephen A. Smith suggested that Jake Paul, recognizing Tyson's limitations, intentionally held back during their bout. Smith noted that Tyson, almost 60 years old, showed early signs of fatigue, and Paul's decision to ease up seemed like a respectful choice to avoid causing unnecessary harm to the aging legend.
I think Jake did it on purpose. I think that he didn't want to do it. I think he knew that he could take Tyson out, and he just felt bad for him, and he thought it would be bad for him. He thought it would be bad for all parties concerned for him to take Tyson out. Tyson walked into the ring stumbling. And then in the first round, it's 2 minutes, not 3 minutes. And I saw Tyson tired. But I think ultimately being in the ring with a guy that's 31 years older than you, approaching 60 years of age, compassion kicked in. And he was like, this is Mike Tyson. I really, really don't want to hurt this guy.
Dana White, president of the UFC, emphasized the event's financial success, largely attributing it to Tyson's iconic status. Despite Tyson's visible struggles, such as using a knee brace and stumbling during his entrance, White argued that Tyson's name alone drew viewers, proving his enduring ability to generate revenue.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this kid's gonna do anything to me? He's not good. He's not gonna knock me out. He's not gonna do this. And you saw him, he tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on, and Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. He made a ton of money, and I know people are mad. You stayed home on a Saturday night, but you didn't pay for it. You know what I mean? And, you know, Mike, this is what Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson shows up, everybody makes money, you know? Jake Paul is, you know, I don't have to tell you guys, you guys know, Mike Tyson is the A+++ side of that thing. And he was right. Jake Paul couldn't do shit to him. So he was right and I was wrong.
However, Adi Oladipo raised concerns about the risks older fighters like Tyson face when making comebacks. He pointed to Tyson's physical limitations, including difficulty walking and performing basic movements, as evidence that these events pose significant dangers to the health and safety of aging athletes.
Been around in the sport longer than I've been born, so he knows better than I do about the dangers of the sport. But yet those dangers increase as fighters get older and can take less punishment. And Mike Tyson was a clear example of someone. After the first minute, we saw that he can't take the punishment. Mike Tyson tripped walking to the ring. His legs were that gone already, he tripped.
Frank Warren discusses Jake Paul's boxing career trajectory and his success in leveraging his massive following. He acknowledges Paul's uncertainty about future opponents while highlighting his ability to monetize his appeal and popularity effectively, turning his efforts into significant financial gains through smart business moves.
That, who knows what's going to happen, but he has fought real boxers. I mean, you've got to look at what he has done. I mean, you know, I'm talking about fighters at the level it was at, like, for example, with Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is a licensed fighter. He is a licensed fighter. I mean, who's he going to fight? I don't know. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? One thing's for sure, he's got a tremendous following. He's got a tremendous, you know, he's monetized his appeal, and you know, that's what he's done, and I'm not going to knock him for that.
Andre Ward added to the debate by recognizing Jake Paul's skill as a promoter, emphasizing his ability to draw crowds and sell tickets. However, Ward argued that true greatness in boxing comes from repeatedly facing top-level opponents under pressure, a challenge Paul has yet to take on, which prevents him from being considered the face of boxing.
Like Jake Paul calls himself the face of boxing. I can't give you that. You're a good salesman,
Right.
you're a good marketer, and you sell tickets. Selling tickets and having interest when you fight is one box that you check if you want to be the face of boxing. It's a few other boxes you ain't checked yet. And one of them boxes is, man, you got to fight somebody and you got to prove yourself. You don't get to sidestep that. You can't be the face of boxing because you're a marketing genius. We know you can do that. We respect you on that. Because anytime you press Jake Paul, he brings up the numbers. We see that, man. We salute you on that. But if you want to really call yourself the face of boxing, bro, you got to get into the fire. Ain't no face of boxing. Ain't nobody that's considered the face of boxing ain't been to the fire time and time again. We've yet to see that with Jake.
Right.
So though we respect certain things, I can't give you that. Not gonna happen.
Jake Paul, reflecting on his performance, emphasized how his strategy, relying on speed, footwork, and precise movements, allowed him to neutralize Tyson's offense. He explained that his calculated approach enabled him to control the rhythm of the fight while minimizing opportunities for Tyson to dominate.
Speed and my ability and my footwork to get out of the way of those punches. So then all of a sudden he's throwing at literally air. He can't land those punches on me.
Was he hard to hit?
He was hard to hit. He was elusive. I was missing.
Adding to the critique, Carl Froch dismissed Paul's claims of holding back out of respect for Tyson. Froch suggested that Paul's lack of dominance stemmed from limited skill and confidence, describing the fight as a massive anticlimax that failed to meet the high expectations surrounding it. Meanwhile, professional boxer David Benavidez shared mixed feelings about the event. He appreciated that Tyson was able to earn a substantial payday, but firmly believed it was time for the legend to retire. Benavidez even mentioned that he would have stepped into the ring against Paul if Tyson had been seriously harmed during the fight.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, are you one of the fighters that had taken umbrage with Jake Paul's victory over Mike Tyson and wanted revenge at?
If he would have tried to hurt Mike Tyson, maybe, but you know what I mean? Mike Tyson, you know, he went in there, he made a good paycheck.
On a different note, Roy Jones took a more optimistic perspective, suggesting that Tyson still won in some ways despite the loss. He credited the event and its collaboration with Netflix for bringing Tyson into the social media era, allowing the legendary boxer to connect with new.
Allowed Mike Tyson to be exposed to the social media frenzy that's going on now. You know, we, yourself, me, Mike, we came along before that social media frenzy took place, right? Now that it has happened, most of us feel like we missed it. But Netflix just blessed Mike Tyson.
Oscar De La Hoya, however, criticized the matchup, expressing disappointment over pitting the 58-year-old Tyson against a much younger Jake Paul. Drawing on his own comeback experience at 48, De La Hoya highlighted the immense physical toll such fights take on older fighters and condemned Paul for exploiting Tyson's legacy for entertainment.
I felt, while watching it, I felt disgusted at Jake Paul for putting this together, knowing that Tyson was 58 years old. See, I'm a fighter myself, and I once tried coming back at 48 years old, and my body just shut down. So when you're gonna fight a 28-year-old like Jake Paul against Tyson, who is a legend, he's a national treasure, a world treasure, I felt a little disgusted. Not on Mike Tyson. I feel bad for Tyson, but you know what? I'm proud of Tyson. But Jake Paul, hey, if you want to fight Zurdo right now, let's do it, and he will knock you out.
Adding another perspective, John Jones admitted it was difficult to watch Tyson struggle against Paul in the ring. He hinted at unsettling details about Tyson's dressing room preparations, suggesting that behind-the-scenes issues added a layer of controversy to an already polarizing event. Tyson's iconic presence, however, remained undeniable, as highlighted by Gareth A. Davies. From his dramatic walk-in to his dignified demeanor, Tyson captivated the audience of 72,000 fans and millions of Netflix viewers, proving that his charisma and legendary status transcended physical limitations.
Something in the right way, it's marketing genius, and that's what Jake and Logan Paul and Most Valuable Promotions have done. Nikita Bedarian, they're very, very clever about what they do. I was out here all week, had time with Mike Tyson, which was amazing. It was a monumental moment.
He seemed, in his interviews, he seemed a little bit like, you know, like the mindset of the old Mike was there. I mean, obviously that didn't happen in the ring though.
No, because his body couldn't respond to what he wanted. His mind wanted him to do in the end. He was dangerous for that first round. But I think he did well at his age to hang in there against a big, young, strong neophyte boxer. father time or maybe grandfather time, Charlie waits for no one.
Sean O'Malley admitted feeling uneasy watching the fight, particularly when Jake Paul landed clean punches on Tyson. While relieved that Tyson wasn't injured, O'Malley speculated that Paul might continue avoiding elite fighters like Canelo Alvarez or Gervonta Davis to minimize risk.
I was happy how it played out. I'm glad Mike didn't get hurt.
Was it a hard watch towards the end?
It was a little bit. Every time Jake would land a nice left hook or right hand, I'd go, ooh.
What more do you want to see from Jake next? He's calling out the likes of Canelo, he's spoke about Tank Davis in the past, somebody you've mentioned. Do you think they're just kind of pipe dreams for him?
And you know what? Whatever Jake does next is going to be huge, and I'm going to be excited for it.
KSI, in stark contrast, accused Jake Paul of fraudulent practices, claiming his career is built on deception. He criticized Paul's promotional ventures as lacking credibility and argued that these tactics undermine the potential for genuine respect and long-term success in the boxing world.
For me right now, I'm like, where can he go now? Where can he really go at this point? What has he got? He scammed Netflix, he scammed DAZN, he scammed Showtime, he scammed all these people. Where's he gonna go? MVP is fucking shit.
Jake Paul's business partner Nikisa defended the event, calling it a historic milestone that rivaled the global impact of Muhammad Ali's era. He highlighted the event's inclusivity and the groundbreaking performances of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, which inspired a new generation of women in boxing and showcased the sport's growing diversity.
If you don't see how this was the greatest moment in boxing history for the past 20, 30 years, then you're not a brand builder and you're not someone who's focused on the growth of the sport long term, and you're stuck in this little small niche corner of sports called boxing that exists. More people got to witness this sport than they have since the days of Muhammad Ali. There was a card that offered something for every single type of consumer. And one of our biggest objectives, as you know, going in was to give women the platform that they deserve. And did Amanda Serrano and Katie deliver, or did they deliver? I mean, there's little girls I see videos of now putting on boxing gloves and saying, I'm going to be Katie Taylor, I'm going to be Amanda Serrano.
Ariel Helwani reflected on the fight's dynamics, observing that Tyson seemed to dominate the first 2 rounds, while Jake Paul gained control in the later rounds. Helwani noted the polarizing nature of the event, emphasizing that whether Paul knocked Tyson out or the fight went the distance, the setup was bound to attract criticism, illustrating the challenge of meeting expectations in such a controversial match.
Looked solid in the first. You can make a case for first and second round goes to Mike Tyson. The rest was obviously all Jake Paul. And I guess my assessment of it all was same thing I've said from the get-go. Polarizing fight, didn't know what to make of it, didn't know how to truly feel, didn't know what to expect. Every criticism, every take was very valid.
Anna Walker weighed in on Jake Paul's journey, commending the significant progress Paul has made over 6 years of training. Walker attributed this improvement to Paul's access to elite trainers, management, and conditioning resources. He applauded Paul's dedication and noted that his efforts have drawn greater attention to boxing, ultimately benefiting the entire sport.
But you've got to on Mike Tyson, man. And I got up and it was just, you know, it's an old man and his legs wasn't there. He wasn't the same man. You know, Jake Paul, I think what people forget is, that Jake Paul, when I was watching all the documentary stuff about it, he's had his first fight 2018. That makes him boxing for 6 years now. In 6 years, you can come a long way, and I do believe he has come a long way with the best trainers, the best management, the best strength conditioning. You know, he's got it all, got the world at his feet. I've got nothing against them doing it.
Michael Buffer, reflecting on the event, expressed relief that no one was injured and underscored the importance of fighter safety. Drawing from his 40-year friendship with Tyson, Buffer admitted he watched a replay of the fight and found the rounds repetitive, lacking excitement. However, he praised the main card for its high-quality fights, hoping the event didn't harm boxing's integrity.
Just one more question, Michael. What did you make of what happened last night with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul?
I'm glad nobody got hurt, and I'm always glad in any fight when nobody gets hurt, but especially Mike. Mike's my, we've known each other for 40 years, and, I love the guy, so I just hope it didn't take away from the sport of boxing and the type of show we had here tonight with like 4 great fights out of the whole card. And we want fight fans to enjoy the fights, not just exhibitions.
Was it difficult for you to watch that?
Yeah, well, I watched it on a replay and kind of zipped through it because it was the same thing in every round.
Tyron Woodley brought attention to Tyson's former dominance, highlighting his signature peekaboo style and his ability to overwhelm opponents at close range. Contrasting this with Jake Paul's cautious strategy, Woodley noted how Paul maintained distance, clearly respecting Tyson's potential power, while Tyson no longer displayed the relentless aggression that defined his prime.
I mean, I didn't want to see Mike like that, man. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see him like that because if he had it in him, he would have did it. He didn't have it in him, and I feel like his peekaboo style and him cutting the distance off, back in the day, he was up on you. He was in your face. You couldn't stop him. You couldn't get to him. And Jake's like, shit, I don't want to go too close because if I get in there, he might hit me with it, right? So it's kind of like him using jabs, one to fire off. But you gotta respect Mike no matter what.
Tim Bradley offered a sharp contrast by criticizing Paul's profit-driven approach. He praised traditional promoters like Turki Alalshik for prioritizing quality matchups over financial gain, accusing Paul of exploiting boxing while claiming to support the sport, focusing instead on personal profits.
Would you rather have Turki Alalshik and what he's doing? Or would you rather have Jake Paul and what he's doing? Because I'm telling you right now, what Jake Paul is doing is, he's sacrificing, right? The boxers, the real boxers. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going back to the press conference where you disrespected the fighters, Jake.
Yeah.
You're not a real fighter. Those guys are real fighters. That's what they are. True fighters. To the bone.
Evander Holyfield expressed disappointment with Tyson's performance, pointing to visible struggles with balance and power. He speculated that issues with Tyson's legs may have limited his usual ferocity, adding to the concerns about older boxers competing in the ring.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you know, you can tell something was wrong with the Tyson leg.
Jake Paul, recounting a humorous moment from the fight, shared that a slap from Tyson looked impactful but didn't affect him at all. He credited his beard for absorbing most of the blow, dismissing any suggestion that it caused pain or affected his performance.
What do you mean?
Back of it.
What do you mean, really?
Yeah, the
Did
back of it was
you,
bent.
So you told me, you're telling me you didn't feel this slap at all?
I didn't feel it. I'm really not trying to like be tough or something. It didn't feel.
You trying
it
to be
at
a tough guy or something?
I didn't even feel a single thing.
How?
Not even like, oh my God, that hurt. Like my skin, like the impact. It was all beard, so like the skin didn't even hurt. And then like, I don't know. I was just.
Bro, but your head moved. I even thought I saw you like wobble a little bit.
Didn't wobble. Didn't have any stars. Didn't feel it. Nothing.
Despite this, Adi Oladipo's earlier warnings about the risks of comebacks for aging athletes rang true. Tyson's struggles, both physical and logistical, underscored the challenges older fighters face, reminding audiences of the fine line between preserving a legacy and endangering one's health.
Been around in the sport longer than I've been born, so he knows better than I do about the dangers of the sport. But yet those dangers increase as fighters get older and can take less punishment. And Mike Tyson was a clear example of someone. After the first minute, we saw that he can't take the punishment. Mike Tyson tripped walking to the ring. His legs were that gone already. He tripped. You saw it.
Tommy Fury criticized the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, labeling it a complete disgrace and an embarrassment. He dismissed it as not being a genuine fight, describing it as merely light taps exchanged between the fighters. Despite his criticism, Fury acknowledged the bout's massive commercial and financial success, but noted that it did nothing to enhance either fighter's legacy.
Watching Netflix on Friday night, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Yes, I was. But what did I make of it? I think commercially and a business sense, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Both men made a ton of money. So best luck to them. Congratulations. As far as the boxing fight, it wasn't a fight. It was a tip and tap. Don't hit me, I won't hit you. Circle the ring a little bit. Make it look good. That's all it was. So I don't really make too much of it.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more boxing updates, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out. Let us know in the comments, should Jake Paul fight a real boxer next? Until next time, stay tuned and keep watching.